In this video, we're talking about a very serious offense in Arizona. It's called molestation of a child. We'll talk about the law, the different elements that are required for a person to be charged with this offense, and then the sentencing provisions and how this crime is penalized. First, let's take a look at where the law is housed, where it's situated. It's in A.R.S. 13-1410. It covers molestation of a child, and these are the different elements. If you go to the law, you'll see it's a big, long run-on sentence, but I broke it up into the different key elements that are required for a person to be charged with this offense. First and foremost, a person needs to have done this stuff intentionally or knowingly, meaning they can't do it by accident. You can't accidentally or recklessly molest a child. It needs to be done intentionally or knowingly. So it's something where a person intends to go do the remainder of these things, or they know that they're doing these things. Next, they need to engage in or cause somebody else to engage in sexual contact. Sexual contact is a legal term of art. It's defined elsewhere in 13-1401. This is the definitions portion of sex offense statutes in Arizona, and it's defined very clearly. Generally, it's fondling, touching, manipulating. It's very generic, very broad, but it is defined. So it's not just generic kind of abstract sexual contact. It's very, very clear. It's black and white in the law. So make sure you look that up, or watch the other video that I did on the definitions sections of sexual offenses. Finally, we need all of this to happen with a child under the age of 15. Under the age of 15 is very specific, not 15 and a month, under the age of 15. So even 14 and 11 months is going to be enough to be considered under the age of 15. It's a very serious offense, like I had said, but it does not include sexual contact with only the female breast. So sometimes people will get these different statutes confused, but if it's not molestation, in other words, if it's contact with a female breast, even if she's under the age of 15, that is going to be considered sexual abuse. It's a different provision of the law. It's a different statute. I have a different video on that. But if it's other sexual contact, then it's going to be considered molestation. The breast alone is going to bump it out of molestation, put it into a different offense. So it's important to know that. The contact does matter. It changes it from one statute with one set of penalties to a different statute with a different set of penalties. So it's important that you define that. What is molestation in Arizona? Well, under our law, we have 6 different classifications of felonies. We have a Class 1, which is the most serious. We have a Class 6, which is the least serious. Class 1 is reserved for the homicide and murder cases. Molestation is going to be considered a Class 2, literally one level below the most serious offenses that we have, so you can understand it's extremely, extremely serious. It is also going to be subject to being sentenced under what's called DCAC, Dangerous Crimes Against Children. That's defined under 13-705. It's a very long statute. What this means is that there's special penalties for people who are charged with crimes against children. Enhanced sentences, much more severe prison sentences, and things like that. Other provisions are going to be detailed in there. There's a lot of importance it's very important you know how that works, because it's going to be very relevant in this particular case. So if you're meeting with an attorney, they need to know all of these different statutes and how they interplay with one another. So not only the molestation statute, but the definitions statute, the sentencing statute under DCAC, they're all going to be interrelated. So you need to understand how they all work together. So molestation in general, as you can understand, any crime against any child is going to be looked upon extremely unfavorably, has a lot of social stigma to it, and for good reason. It's something that society in general, they want to protect children. They want to make sure that our kids and children are safe. That being said, it is also important to recognize that just simply being charged with molestation doesn't mean that you're guilty of it. People are charged with crimes all the time. They are acquitted. They are found innocent. They are found not guilty of the offense. Just because somebody's been charged with it doesn't mean that they actually did it. Unless they've been found guilty by a jury or they've agreed to plead guilty, they are entitled to the presumption of innocence. They're entitled to a strong defense. They're entitled to due process under the law. And so if you or anybody that you know or love has been charged with molestation or being investigated for molestation, give our office a call. We've helped many people through these types of situations. We help put together a plan to make sure you're getting the best representation possible. You're getting a fair shake throughout the system. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Give us a call for a free case evaluation, and take care.